Hey everybody, hope you're doing great. As you all know, I am a softball coach for an 18 and under travel team, and we've had a little bit of a hiccup lately. We've had some girls who have missed practice, and while the weather hasn't been great, and while we are in the flu season and people are getting sick, we've had some girls who commitment we've had a little bit of question about. So Kayla, the woman with whom I coach, and I sat the girls down on Tuesday night and had a pretty direct conversation with them about commitment, about accountability. And one of the questions I posed to them was, what is the best ability you can have as a softball player? And the answers we received were pretty much what you would expect. Power hitter, great pitcher, smooth fielder, gets on base, hits behind runners, can go first to third, all of those kinds of things that really are incredibly important in softball. None of those was the answer for which I was looking. And at the end of the conversation, after I told the girls, really good thinking, really appreciate your thinking outside the box, I told them that there is one ability that transcends all other abilities in softball, and that ability is availability. You're showing up. You're being present. You're making clear to the people around you that you are there for them. Your availability is the best ability you can possess as a player. When it comes to leadership, I believe there also is one ability that can be a superpower, that may be more important than any others. Is it intelligence? I don't think so. Is it determination or drive? I don't think so. Is it innovation or creativity? All important, but I don't think so. From my perspective, from a leadership standpoint, the single greatest ability is accessibility. It is your being available in whatever form that takes for the employees who report to you, for the colleagues with whom you work. And we appreciate that accessibility is so crucial, because when employees feel they can come and talk to you, that they have your ear, that you will engage in mentorship, in sponsorship, when you'll use your own capital for the benefit of somebody else, when they feel heard and seen, my goodness, it engenders loyalty. It engenders that employee's willingness to run through walls for you. Accessibility, for me, is the superpower. Accessibility, for me, is the greatest ability any leader can possess. So the question, of course, becomes, how can we create this level of accessibility which will engender loyalty? How can we create this level of accessibility which will make clear to our employees that we have their backs, that we are their advocate, that we are there for them in whatever form that takes? And I think there are obviously any number of steps. Let's talk about a couple, and let's first talk about actual physical barriers to accessibility. I once had a client, and I worked very close with the head of HR for this client. And this head of HR was a little bit of a nightmare, and I actually had to do an investigation based on allegations raised by team members of that organization into inappropriate conduct engaged in by the head of HR. And one of the things that was alleged, turned out to be true, was that the head of HR insisted on putting a stop sign on the door to the HR office, which essentially said, stop here and think about what you're going to do before you come in here. Do you really need to have this conversation? Oh my goodness. You want to talk about an actual barrier to accessibility? That is a fairly dramatic example. But think about what you do day to day inside of your workplace. If you are somebody who has, for example, an office in which you work, do you keep your door closed? Physical barrier to accessibility. I know it sounds crazy, and I always kind of laugh when I review handbooks or policies for organizations and I see, we have an open door policy. My response to which is always like, goody for you. 1985 called, they want their policies back. But I get the message. And I want to take it past sort of the, you can come talk to us whenever you want. That should be a fundamental truism. Keep your door open. Knock down those actual physical barriers to accessibility that may otherwise exist. When an employee walks by your office, by the way, and sees that your door is closed, their first thought, and there are actual studies on this, their first thought is, oh my goodness, they're talking about me. What did I do? Accessibility, the best ability, is massively impacted by a closed door. What else can we do to enhance accessibility? Share interests. Talk to your employees about things that have absolutely nothing to do with work. I don't understand. Sure you do. You're just not comfortable doing it. Be comfortable being uncomfortable. Taking on a challenge is a lot like riding a horse. If you're comfortable while you're doing it, you're probably doing it wrong. All of the truisms that we've heard throughout the course of these videos. Share interests that have nothing to do with work. One of my first bosses, he was a horrible boss, but he did one thing very, very well. He tried to share interests. He would talk with me about sports. He would talk with me from time to time about family. He would talk to me about those things that were going on in his life that had nothing to do with the legal practice. And I dug that about him. And notwithstanding the fact that in almost all other aspects, he was a horrendous leader, I probably stayed there longer than I should have because he did try and share those interests. Now, one of the things he did was apparently he also, and this happened after I left, was he threw binders at people. Now, if it had happened when I was there, I'm small and I'm quick and I could have ducked out of the way. What he didn't do, and the throwing of binders is an example, and one of the things we need to do as leaders to enhance accessibility is inspire calm, is make clear to our employees that we appreciate that things are hard, we appreciate that times are difficult, we appreciate in moments they're scary, and that we are, in fact, there for them, that we will not come unhinged. We will not go from zero to plaid or become apoplectic every time something goes a little bit sideways. The only thing we know for sure is that things will be unpredictable. And as leaders, if we want to enhance accessibility, if we want our employees to feel comfortable coming to talk to us about things that have not gone exactly as planned, which is what we need them to do when things don't go exactly as planned, we can't wig. We can't come unhinged. You heard me talking a few episodes back about the importance of failure and how failure really does increase innovation and creativity and gives an opportunity for collaboration. The acceptance of failure also enhances accessibility. We want our employees to come to us and talk to us when things are difficult. When a project or an assignment does not go exactly as planned, we have to inspire calm in the people with whom we work. We're going to engage in check-ins. Yes, it's always wonderful when an employee will come and talk to us, but more times than not, that's not how it's going to happen. In order to engage in these conversations where we're sharing interests, where we're talking about things that are not related to work, we need to engage in what I like to refer to as spontaneous planned check-ins. And yes, I know those words mean the opposite of each other, but they are planned for me as a leader. They are literally on my Outlook calendar so that I remember, because times get busy, that I need to go check in with my employees. What's working, what's not working. Hey, really appreciated the extra work you put in on that project. We let the employees understand that we are there for them. And they don't have to come to talk to us. We are going to talk to them. Talked about the open door policy. You know what the really effective leader does? They don't wait for employees to come to them. They bring their door to the employees. They get out from behind their desk, out from their work area, and go have these spontaneous planned check-ins or planned check-ins, making clear to your employee that you are here for them, irrespective of situation, regardless of mistake. We enhance accessibility. And finally, and I have talked about this on many different occasions and in many different ways, it's just our willingness to shut the hell up and listen to what an employee has to say. When an employee is talking, we lock in. We turn watch notifications off. We turn phone notifications off. We turn monitor notifications off. We make clear to our employees that we are physically accessible, we are emotionally accessible, we are compassionate. We are non-competitively listening to them. And then once they are done talking and we let them finish, again, non-competitive listening, no interruption, not starting to formulate our thoughts while they're already talking. We wait until they're done. Once they're done talking and have had this opportunity for catharsis to get whatever it is that is bothering them off of their chest, that's when we share experiences that we have had in the past. That's when we provide the guidance for which they in all likelihood are looking. We don't interrupt. We don't start formulating our thoughts while the person's talking. Non-competitive, compassionate, intellectual listening. When we're on the softball field, the greatest ability, truly, a player can have is availability. As leaders, try to create that superpower. Make yourself accessible to all of your employees. They feel they can come to talk to you whenever, about whatever, for whatever reason. As always, folks, thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for commenting and for sharing. Hope to see you real soon.